speaking of Apple, right? I think we just discussed this about, I think last week or a few weeks back, regarding Apple's issue when they were embroiled in the issue of which is Epic, as well as Spotify and other big, tech companies regarding their uh, considered exorbitant uh, asking fee for every time that you purchase or use their platform. You're supposed to pay a 30% flat fee. Now, whether that's considered, you know, asking too much, but the issue is it was brought up that it's not fair across all boards, right? There was an article regarding that Amazon was able to get a better rate, half of that, half the 30% that they're asking for, and it's an ongoing battle right now. But guess what? Apple is doing something to sort of quell those issues in a sense, wherein they are trying to cut the App Store fee by as much as 50%. So from 30%, it's now 15%. But there's a slight caveat. It only applies to a small segment of those developers. In this case, the small developers. So what constitute a, if you're up, if the cut fee is applicable to your business. So let's take a closer look. It says 15%. Yeah, so it stated it's 15%. Now, who can apply for this one? So this only applies to developers whose apps generated less than $1 million. Okay, so if your businesses generate more than $1 million, you qualify for paying the full 30%. Okay, now obviously this is big deal, especially if you're a startup business, you're trying to capture a market. Giving you a leg up by Apple is a big plus. And obviously this they're trying to quell those rumors of Apple's anti-competitive behaviors. Now whether that's true or not, it's for the government to decide. But according to one of their tech I would say competitors, I technically could say Spotify as a competitor already, that they're stating that you know Apple's anti-competitive behavior threatens all developers in the iOS platform. And the latest move is just a arbitrary and capricious in a sense, because obviously based on the data provided here, that the majority of businesses that do use or benefit from using the App Store is way significantly bigger, right? Meaning, even if they were to give small developers a 50% reduction of the fee, it only represents a small fraction. And that's why Spotify and other companies are banding together, filing an antitrust complaint regarding the Apple way back in March 2019 for the anti-competitive and Apple's to inflate Spotify's prices while simultaneously launching a competitive service, which is Apple Music. And what Spotify is stating also, that we hope that regulators will ignore Apple's window dressing and act with urgency to protect consumers' choice, as well as ensure fair competition and create a level playing field for all. Now, obviously, Apple is trying to make inroads in other industries as well, so it's not just in music, in Spotify competing with music, as well as competing with video streaming with the likes of Amazon Prime, as well as Netflix and so forth. So obviously, they're making key steps slowly but surely. But obviously, they want to diversify their business, which is the right of Apple, right? That's what big businesses do. You start from one core business and try to expand. Now, expanding to a gargantuan point, is that beneficial for the market, for the consumer? We have to wait and see. Actually, another company who is up in arms with regarding the issue here is Match Group company, which has a dating app conglomerate known for Tinder, if you're familiar, stating that what more evidence does evidence of Apple's anti-competitive and monopolistic behavior does anyone need? Obviously, they're stating that if you manage to grow your revenue over 1 million, then they double their cut automatically. which is making it harder for startup, companies or developers to grow their business. Now, it's kind of two sides to every coin, right? Now, at least Apple's doing something, but is it enough? Obviously, for those you know, big businesses like Apple or I sorry, Apple, like Spotify or even Epic Games, it's big business. They're generating millions and billions of dollars from there. And what's ironic here, according to the statistics provided by the New York Times, that although the commission cut will affect 98% of the apps in the App Store, which is, might seem a big percentage, a majority, but all of those apps only account for 5% of their revenue. So meaning the 2% that, you know, that will not be affected, meaning they have to pay the full 30%, generates them the 95% of their revenue, right? And obviously, according to Tim Sweeney of Epic, is stating that obviously all major apps are built by larger companies. So obviously, 95% of transactions are still undergoing Apple's 30% fee, which is, that's why they're willing to help the small developers if you just reach a minimal threshold. And then if you exceed that, which is the majority of big businesses who are successful using the platform, have to pay the full 30. Now, whether that's uh, fair or not, it's for the court to decide. And obviously, one of being stated here, whether that's true or not, that Apple is doing this so that the complaints will be reduced to the point where they can get away with the scheme perpetually. So at the end of the day, it's up for the customers, for the users, for the companies, for the government to decide. Is Apple going too far, or will they be allowed? Will it be perpetuating like the article is stating here? Only time can tell.